everybody. This is Robert. It's Friday. So this morning at about 9 a.m., I was officially charged stemming from the incident that happened earlier in the week. And before I get into this, I'm going to go ahead and read the report on it, the charging document. Before I do, I want to say this. To my friend who volunteered to take care of the puppy until it was either placed in a different home or whatever, or you're waiting for me to get out, whatever the deal was, I apologize sincerely for her destroying. I heard this morning she destroyed your house, a lot of furniture, and I apologize. I told you that she bit through two cables. I mean, I don't know if my family told you. At 11 weeks old, she bit through both those cables, and so she's got that pit in her, half pit, half lab. I'm sorry. I heard you're upset about it, and the person that can handle her best, and I hope she gets her, is Savannah. She loves Savannah, so. Anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. By the way, while I'm speaking to people in Hartford, Arkansas, Shane Lyon, con man extraordinaire. You silly, silly little rabbit. Don't you know the tricks are for kids? Next. Okay, let me get into this. All right, so I was this morning, I don't know his position. I forgot his name. Came around and gave me a charging document that stemmed from what happened to me, or what happened in the incident on Monday. And I'm going to go ahead and read this. And yeah, a little bit of it's kind of embarrassing. But, I'm going to get into the comments after I read it. So let me go ahead and start. Officer's report, Corporal Minor, number 240. Date 212, case number 24039, major disciplinary, charged with major disciplinary within the institution. On Monday, February 12, 2004, at approximately 0830 hours, I, along with Corporal Powell and Sergeant Sears, was outside of cell B5 and B-Pod to escort Robert Rosso, 54-year-old white male, to booking so he can be transported to federal court. Prior to getting Robert for court, we were briefed that Robert was going to refuse to go to court because he was not able to shave his facial hair into a goatee for his court appearance. That wasn't really right, but whatever. Powell and I made our way upstairs to where Robert was and instructed him multiple times to get up. Robert refused to comply with verbal instructions. Powell and I had to use force to get him up on his feet and to the stairwell where he sat down. Robert told us we had to carry him to court while he was sitting on the staircase in B5. I placed my handcuffs, double locked, onto Robert and a radio B-Pod control for a wheelchair to be brought to our location. Powell, Sears, and I lifted Robert off the stairwell and carried him down the B-Pod hallway. Once we got to the hallway, he was placed onto the wheelchair and taken at booking. My body camera was activated and will be added to this case file. I am charging Robert institutionally, Robert Rosso, with major disciplinary for 12-3 failure to obey verbal and or written order by staff. Robert was instructed multiple times and refused to obey instructions to get off his bunk willingly before we forced him to his feet and had to carry him out of the block. Number 2, this is from Dakota Powell, Deputy's Report, Corporal Dakota Powell, number 289, non-compliant detainee. On 0/12/24 at approximately 8:40 p.m. at the Washington County Detention Center, housing B5, Robert Rosso, 54-year-old white male, was requested to appear at federal court. Robert refused to exit the housing area under his own free will and stated that he would have to be carried. Myself and other deputies asked for his compliance and explained that his appearance was mandatory and unavoidable. Robert lay down and refused to cooperate with deputies. I assisted in picking him up and occasionally had to drag him due to his refusal to stand and walk for himself. This includes traveling down a flight of stairs. While on the stairs, Robert was placed in handcuffs. While we exited the housing area, Robert was placed into a wheelchair and taken to the Sally Port, where he promptly stood up and entered the back of the patrol car without incident. Robert was transported to the Fayetteville Federal Courthouse without issue and was cooperative. The event was recorded on audio and visual, body camera, and footage. All footage will be properly labeled for further direct quotes and additional information. See footage. Next and final. This is from Sarah Sears, number 171, information only, non-compliance. On 2/12/24 at about 8:30 hour, myself, Corporal Powell, and Corporal Minor were at B5 to get Robert Rosso for federal court. We were sent an email about Rosso refusing to go to court due to not being able to shave his facial hair into a goatee like he had previously. Again, that's not totally correct, but I get it. Rosso told us he would not be going to court. We entered the block, and he went upstairs. I was already upstairs, to where Rosso had gotten onto his bunk. He was already on the bunk. He was removed from the bunk, and we escorted him to the stairs where he sat down. He refused to stand or assist us in getting him down the stairs. He was placed in handcuffs, and we carried him down the stairs to the door. A wheelchair was brought to the location where we picked him up and set him in the wheelchair. We escorted him to booking where he was tracked out. Part of the way across the Sally Port, Rosso unexpectedly stood up, and I almost hit him with the wheelchair. I don't really know. Anyway, he willingly walked the remaining of the distance and got into the vehicle without incident. Once at the federal courthouse, he exited the vehicle and apologized for his behavior. He said he did it because he believed He said he did it because he believed us to have known and been a part of the incident the day before concerning his court shave, and said he had to after making a statement about not going to court while in the block the day before. Rosso was escorted into the federal courthouse by U.S. Marshal Z. Dunford. Shout out to Dunford. And I apologize for bringing you in as Dunford, by the way. You're a great guy. My body camera was activated during the incident and beginning of the transportation, but shut off once my MVR was activated. My body camera was not activated during the conversation at the federal courthouse of Rosso. End of report. Okay. So let me tell you guys that don't know out there. So, inmates or pretrial detainees or convicted, whatever, people that are housed in detention centers and jails are afforded due process rights. Part of the due process right is an administrative disciplinary hearing officer if you are formally charged with violating a policy. And by the way, let me point this out to everybody. If I would have touched one of those officers, and I even mean pushed their hand away, if I would have kicked a foot accidentally or not, I would be charged in state court right now. It would be assault on an officer. Very important for anybody who has people that are incarcerated, or if anybody's incarcerated, to always remember, do not ever push away, try to push somebody's hand away that is in a position of authority, specifically deputy law enforcement, whatever. You can and will be charged. Okay? So it's very, very important. I want to be clear. And I want to be clear that I was always non-compliant. This did not stem from a per se court shave. Yes, that was it. It was an officer's attitude who told me off camera, when he was shutting his camera on and off, that he would hold me down and shave my face. That's what it really was about. And that's when I actually used skills or tools that I learned in Agler management class in the Federal Bureau of Prison. That was to stop and do a camera check and look at the situation. Yes, I wanted to blow up. In 1997, I had an incident with staff, and I assaulted 5 officers. And had I not got a life sentence, I would have been charged. I'm older and more wiser. Well, who knows how wise I'm sitting in jail, right? But I just want to be clear: never, ever, staff are human. Okay, we all have bad days. Everything, according to the officer who called me out of my name a bunch of times and had a smug look on his face when he said he can hold me down and shave my face. So I just want to make that clear. Other comments on this? Really? I read this and I'm like, did they really just admit to handcuffing me and locking the handcuffs, double lock, and dragging me down the freaking stairs? I didn't know whether I should hug them. They just, like everything that I've alleged and said, they did. You cannot drag non-compliant, peacefully protesting people down the stairs in handcuffs and drag them by their feet, tear their meniscus, rupture their bladder. I don't care. Everybody in this jail knew that I was proving a point. And the point was peaceful non-compliance in regards to a stupid policy. I'm sorry, not even necessarily the policy, in regards to a staff member who threatened me off camera that he could hold me down and shave my face. Whether I was right or wrong, if people think I'm childish or not, I did it. I stand by it. I'm proud of it. And I'm praying and hoping, and I just got some word about some policy changes in regards to the federal court shave, and I hope that stands. I really do. and I hope this was for not. I'm not trying to be Gandhi, Mandela, or Martin Luther King on peaceful stuff. It's something that happened. I am actually proud of the way I handled it, no matter what anybody has to say. Talked to my attorney today. She did come up, gave me forms to file a 1983 lawsuit. I am going with a tort claim, as I said yesterday, and I am probably, with the advice of her, getting an attorney because this has big merit. And by the way, I did sustain injuries. I can tell you that the proper protocol that they were supposed to do, I'm not going to do that right now. In regards to the incident report, I have to say this as well. I've been in county jail, LA County Jail, Sebastian County Jail in Arkansas, Paris, Arkansas Jail, Logan County Detention Center back in the day, Washington County Jail, California Department of Corrections, Arkansas Department of Corrections, BOP. God damn, I've spent my whole life in prison. Sad, but my point is, never have I seen a disciplinary process as thorough and proper as this. I have to say, I wish I remembered his name right now. I talked to him after he served the notice. I have never been given notice like this, meaning they sat down, went over everything, answered every question, totally professional. I got to give it to the Washington County Detention Center for the way they're handling the disciplinary process and the incident report. I mean, just hats off to you people. I told him that after we were done, and I'm going to say that he then, I got to say his name at some point, because he created the policy on this. And this policy should be like, the way they handled this should be nationwide, and I'm not joking. And he admitted that they have never had a case gone to federal court over an incident report, and that's big because a lot of these things do go into federal court for violations of the due process procedure and more. So I have to say that. Again, I was shocked that they actually wrote down that they drugged me down the stairs in handcuffs. I mean, no laughing matter at the injuries I received. If they were properly trained and there was protocols put in place, it would have never happened. Everybody knew, and of course it says here, that it was never about bucking and fighting back. Never, ever, ever. What other comments did I have that I wanted to say? I thought about this earlier. So my schedule, my hearing was scheduled for the 19th. I guess this is now a holiday. I was in come back. That's Monday the 19th, I believe. And now it's scheduled for the Wednesday the 21st at 9 a.m. I could plead guilty and I can get 2 days in the hole. Well, actually it's 3 days, but it's 2 nights in the hole. The hole here means they take your mattresses at 4 a.m. and they'll give them back to 9 a.m. And they don't allow you to have any books, reading materials, nothing, from what I understand. One of the jailers did say they're overcrowded, which means there's 3 people to a cell, not 1 or 2, and they are giving mattresses right now. But they take your blankets. They want you to have nothing, strip nothing, period. If I don't plead guilty and I go to the hearing and have staff represent me, which I am going to have for a staff rep, I have that right. I will also, of course, I'll have the staff rep will be there just for guidance in case I need it on the jail policy. But if I get found guilty, it's up to 5 days, and that's 5 days in the hole. Actually, I think it's 4 nights is how they do it in this jail. I'm not pleading guilty to the charge, of course. And if I may, and how much of my defense should I actually go over? I underlined some stuff. This is, again, I'm being charged with disciplinary review, failure to obey verbal and or written statements. I'm not sure if anybody actually paid attention to all the words that I said. For those of you that are in the legal community or that care, you can go back and listen to what I said. At no time did anybody give me an order.
You have 3 minutes remaining on this call.
As a matter of fact, myself and other deputies asked Robert for compliance and explained that his appearance was mandatory. That might seem petty or doesn't really matter to most people that don't know the disciplinary process or anything about charging documents. It means something. Do I think that I'll be found guilty? Absolutely. I think it's yes, I do. It is what it is. Again, the injuries that I sustained, my attorney came up today. She advised me on some stuff, and I've got to do some more filing on that because there is fluid that's non-consistent with blood that is coming out of my bladder from the result of being dragged down the stairs. And that's about it for now. I know there was one other thing I wanted to say. I am going to have somebody come on here. He was going to be done today. It's not going to be me. It's a jailhouse poet. Actually, he's a poet in jail. Really good stuff if you guys care. I just want to kind of showcase some other people's talents that are in jail and maybe get a few other stories out from people. By the way, there's another story I'm working on. I shouldn't say stories. I want to show what DEA corruption is all about. And there's a really good case in here, and it's not necessarily just corruption. It's how DEA agents can get away with lying in an affidavit and there's no repercussions. And that goes to the heart of my criminal justice reform agenda, which I truly intended to do when I started this channel. Otherwise, thanks for your support. Appreciate it. I appreciate OG Mike for helping me out. You guys take care. Keep you posted. Thanks. Bye.